Hello, Julie here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be working with a digital kit from Sue at Paper Inspirations called Vintage Hues of Blue. Okay, so these are the printables. I will start from here. So there's, I think, 13 pages of them. So these are just printed on normal printer paper. That's one. Two. That's supposed to go that way because that way the writing would be up the right way. Now I've got some other paper here that I use from time to time. And this is 200 GSM. It's got a slight gloss to it. Now there's the difference in the two papers. You can see this one does have a slightly richer colour than the plain paper copier, plain copier paper, and it is nice and thick to use. It's good for making, pockets and things like that. So that's page number 4. This one is a page full of butterflies. It's got like a tea dyed background. I'm debating whether I will fussy cut the butterflies to use as just butterfly embellishments or leave it as that. This is a lovely page. I think I love that collage in the background. This is a page that just looks like a tea dyed page. This one is like a copier, like a print and a tea dyed page collaged together. Now this one, once again, is on the thicker paper, and that's the same one on the photocopied paper. So you can see my printer doesn't do a good job of darks on this paper. I've just got a new printer and I'm not that happy with it. It's an Epson 3800 or something like that, one of those ink tank ones. And I need to do some finessing with it to get some other paper that is good quality paper that it prints properly on. I prefer the look of this on the photocopier paper. On this one it looks pretty blobby, but on that one it looks quite nice. And then there are a couple of pages of ephemera bits. Now this one's on, once again, the thicker paper or cardstock. It's got some little postcards, labels, and some labels with some butterflies. Very cute. And we have this one, which once again is on the thicker paper, and we've got 3 postcards and some labels. And there's also another page that comes, but I've already cut it up, so these come like this. So yeah, there's that page as well. So this is what I'm going to use in this video. So I'm going to start with this one. This is page 1 of the kit. So I'm going to make a pocket with this, and not a pocket, a bag. So to start with, I don't want it this tall. So I'm going to trim some off the bottom. So I'm going to trim an inch off the bottom. And I'm going to trim, now first of all I'm going to fold it where I want it. I think about like that, and that will give me that whole thing on the front. And this can be my fold over. So So I'm going to use my scoreboard and score that. So I'm just going to score a line down there. Now this is just printed on normal printer paper, so it's not that thick. And I'm also going to score along the bottom. Well, it's 7 inches tall at the moment. I certainly don't want it that tall. I'm going to score this. I think 1/4 inch should do it. And I want my front of my bag to be shorter than the back. So I'm going to use my trimmer. Now generally they will be on a bit of an angle, won't they? We don't want, probably that's 1/4 inch is probably low enough. So I'm going to cut this up to the fold, which is there. Perhaps if I ink that, it will stand out a little better. About that much lower, so about 1/4 inch lower, and just up to that fold. Then I'm going to just use my scissors to snip that bit out. Okay, so that's the makings of my bag. Now here, I don't want that there either, but I can trim that off afterwards. Okay. So now I've got some fancy scissors here, and I'm just going to cut along the top of this so that we've got that sort of like frilly edge that you get when you get a paper bag. Trying to match those up. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to, I only really need one piece of this, so I'm going to trim that out. I'm going to trim that like that, and then I'm going to cut along this fold, this score line. I don't know whether you can actually see that very well. Can't see it that well myself, to be honest. So now I fold that in along my score line, and I fold this up along my score line, and then I can fold that over there like that, and I've got my paper bag. Now I don't want that there. I'm going to cut that down because it's going to be below the front of the bag. It doesn't matter how far down I cut it, so I'm just going to cut it about 1/2 inch. So there we go. So that's going to be my bag. So I think what I might do is I might stitch this. So I'm going to take it to my sewing machine. I'm going to stitch across the top there, then I'm going to stitch around all 3 sides so that I've got my bag So I'll go and do that and I'll be right back. So there, I've stitched around the edges. I did glue because I didn't want that piece, you know, that folded in piece to be flapping about. So I did glue first and then I've stitched. Now, if you take your bone folder and you rub over your stitching on the back, it takes that bumpiness out of it, apparently. So there we go. Now I'm going to ink around this. Well, I should have inked around that front bit before I stitched. Would have been easier. But I'm going to ink both sides of this because it could be attached in your journal with a paper clip. You could do a hidden paper clip, or you could do just a normal paper clip, or you could actually hinge it. You could make a flip out hinge. So say this here, you could attach that on the side, fold it, and then this would attach to your book, your journal. So now I have done fussy cutting here. I've fussy cut all the fussy cutting sheets, and of course I don't want anything too big because I've got my, you know, that's a nice focal point on there. Here I'm just playing around with all the different elements that are in the kit, and I'm just trying to decide how I'm going to embellish the front of my bag. So I've stamped on there with one of the stamps from Tim Holtz Field Notes stamp set and the vintage photo. I'm going to attach that up there, and then I'm going to put my butterfly. Do you want that or a blue butterfly? I think I like the blue butterfly better. Maybe up there. That's what I think I'll do. So there. Wrap the butterfly wings around something so that they've got a bit of dimension. Glue down the centre of the butterfly and then attach it on there. Just hold that in place for a few minutes. So there's our first project for today. So we've got a nice paper bag. We can put lots of things in that. We've got some postcards in the kit that we could put in there. So we could probably batt this onto some tea dyed paper or coffee dyed paper, and we could pop that in there. Or we could batt these onto some tea dyed paper as well and have them in there as journaling cards. But we'll think about what we're going to put in that shortly. Now our next project will be, I'm not sure yet, I'll have to figure that out and then I'll be back to share it with you. Okay, so I'm using page 3 and I'm going to make an envelope with a pocket on the back. I saw this recently on YouTube and I've had a play around with it, and you can see there's some marks where I've made the wrong folds, but that will be fine. So now I've got it worked out. So with your paper upside down, like face side down, you want the top at the top, pointing to the top. On the left hand side you want to score at 1/2 inch, or so move that over to there and score down there at 1/2 inch. Okay. Like so. Then we want to score, put it back in the corner and score at 5.5 inches. There's the measurements if you want to take a screenshot. Okay, then we turn it sideways and we score at 1.5 inches and at, turn it around and score at 3 inches. That's actually 3 1/8. 3 1/8 inches. Change it. 3 1/8. Okay, so what we've got then is we have got this folds over and then this folds over. And I made it so that it had a little bit of an overhang because I knew I had this wide edge on here and I wanted to trim that off anyway. So I've got this here now. But what we're going to do first is fold the bottom up and the top down. Okay, so there's our envelope here. We can put, we'll do that in a minute. So now what I need to do is, okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this section out. Okay, so that doesn't look very straight to me. That goes up like that. And we can glue there and there. And this goes around to the back and that folds in and we can glue there. But before we do any of that, we need to trim that section down. We need to trim down here. Get my paper trimmer. And just trim that piece off. So now we have that folds up there like that, that folds down there like that, and this one folds to the back like that. So that gives us a pocket here and an envelope here. So I'm going to erase that measurement on there. And I'm going to, even though it's an envelope, I'm still going to put a little divot in that. Makes it a bit easier to get things in and out of. Try and pick the middle, but it doesn't matter if it's not perfectly in the middle. And so that's that, that's that. This goes around the back and I'm going to put a divot in this one as well. Just a little finger notch, make it easier to get things in and out of. Once again, I'm going to try and get that in the middle, roughly. Okay, now I'm also going to round the corners on my envelope flap, like think it always makes it look a little bit nicer. I think I might, oh no, I can't. I was going to round the corners on that, on here as well, but can't really do that because this is joined there. Although I could. Oh no, no point really, because then this would poke out. Okay, so to seal this up, and I've even been lucky enough that my text is up the right way. So I'm going to ink around the edge of this before I do anything else, because once you seal it up it's a bit trickier to get across there with an ink pad, with an ink blender. And I'm going to do across this one as well. I can do the edges, of course, easily enough once I've got it stuck down. I'm just going to trim a little section off of that so that it doesn't poke up. And I'm going to do the same for the bottom. Okay, so firstly I'm going to, oh no, I might just ink in here a bit, take the whiteness off before I stick that down. You could of course back this with another piece of the pattern paper. There's one in here that's like this tea-dyed one. You could cut that and put in there if you wanted to. That's another way of doing it. Okay. Right, so with our glue, we're just going to run a little bit of glue up the side here. And a little bit of glue up the side there. And then fold that up. Okay. So now we're going to do the back section. So I wanted to stitch around this. I should stitch now, shouldn't I? Because I can't stitch. No, I think what I'll do is stick it down and then just stitch around the perimeter. I won't worry about stitching across those levels because I've already stuck that one down. Okay, that's what I'll do. And besides, it's too hard to stitch around those divots. Okay, so now, oh, and of course we want to do across the bottom, don't we? Otherwise it's not a pocket. Okay, so that can go across there. Like so. Okay, so we've got our envelope there. Close this down. You could put a button closure on there if you wanted to. And then we've got a pocket at the back here as well. So, So those postcards would fit in there perfectly. Might round the edges, the corners on this. And I'm going to back that onto this sheet, and this is page number 11. So if I go ahead and now this one's printed on slightly thicker card. It's not printed on your standard printer paper. It's on I think it's 200 GSM cardstock, smooth white cardstock. Okay, so trim that up. Okay, so now something to decorate that with. I was going to stitch around this, wasn't I? Okay, I'll go and do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've stitched around the outside of the envelope. I haven't stitched across there, of course, because I had already stuck that down. Now, I stitched pretty close to the edge because I don't want to take too much real estate from my envelope, because this, I'm going to have to trim this down as it is. Okay, so that's that side. Now, on this side, we could put a postcard with, what else we got here? Oh, that's a nice one. We've got bigger ones. I don't want those at this stage. Well, we have got like a nice label like that, and we could put a moth on it. Or no, that might be a butterfly. That is a butterfly. What do we think of that? Or do we want a bit of colour on there, because that, yeah, I think we do want a bit of, so should we stamp something on there? We could do that. So what would we like to stamp on there? So I've got this Uniquely Creative stamp, and it's called Floral Text. And I'm going to use that. Got a block here. And I'm going to use my vintage photo to stamp it, although I could use a blue, couldn't I? I think I'll stick with this one on this area, and this is going to be bigger. I'll just put a piece of scrap behind that. Better. Now, what I think I will do actually, while I've got this here, I might as well stamp a few others, mightn't I? Okay, now I'm going to stamp some of this on the background of that too, but I'm going to use a blue. I'm going to try this speckled egg. I don't know whether it will be dark enough, but I'll try it and see. If it's not, I can always go over it with a darker one or a different one. Put that slightly offset there. A bit more text down there. Maybe a little bit of this on there as well. Probably contaminating my ink pads, but that's life, I guess. There we go. So, I might just wipe over that in case. I did get blue on there, but it probably won't hurt anyway. Where's the lid for that? Okay, so putting my stamp off. Don't know whether it's necessary or not, but I always seem to do it. Probably could leave it until later on, but okay, so got that, and we've got our little label, and we've got a blue butterfly. What do we think of that? Is it enough? I think so. So that's what I'm going to do for this one. Seem to have a bit of a theme going, don't we? A label and a butterfly on as decoration, but the papers are so lovely. You don't really need a lot on there, in my opinion. Just a little something. Okay, so that's the back of our envelope. Now we're going to have a look at the front. What do we want to do on here? I've got some lace here. I might put some lace on there. Put some lace across there, or we could put some lace on there. If you put it down there, it covers up that pretty blue, doesn't it? So if I put it up there, I think that would be nice. It fits on there nicely, just the right width. So that's what I'll do. I'm going to put glue all over because, once again, I don't really want it flapping about. And I'm going to put that on top just to give it a bit of weight while it dries a little. So once again, I'm just going to have a look through these embellishments and decide what I want to put on the envelope. Yeah, I think that. What do you reckon? Now, do we want another postcard in there? So I went ahead and prepared another postcard in exactly the same way as I did the first one. So I've backed it with some of the printable paper, inked around the edges, rounded the corners and trimmed it down so that it will fit in my pocket comfortably. Put this on the inside. And then on the back we've got a pocket with another postcard in it. We've got a little bit of embellishment on there, we've got a bit of lace on here and a little butterfly. So that's that one. So far we've got a bag and a envelope with a pocket. Alright, let me think about what else I want to make and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to make a journaling card using this panel here. I just love the look of that. So I'm going to trim that down, I think 4 inches. I'm going to cut it 4.5 because I want to get a bit of this in. And then I'll trim a bit off the other side. I'm cutting that at 4.5. Then I'm going to trim that down to 4. Do I want 4? I could go 4.25, I think. Yeah. I think that looks a bit better, a bit more even. So I've got a piece that is 4.25 by 8.25. Now I think that's a bit too tall, so I'm going to cut that down to say 7.5. Yeah, 7.5. If I'm doing a journal, it would probably be 8.25 inches high, so 7.5 would be plenty. Just trim that little white piece off the bottom. Okay, now I have got a piece of this left over, so I'm going to back that onto that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go to my sewing machine and stitch all around the edge of it. Then I'll be right back. So I'm going to add some of this variegated cotton frizz ribbon. It's Aqua Valley. I've just used my art glitter glue to attach that there. Now I'm going to use one of the labels that I'm going to ink around. I'm going to attach that there. And I'm going to attach a butterfly over the top so that it looks like it's part of that butterfly there. I'm just wondering whether there's a colour one. Perhaps that size is a bit better. What do you reckon? I think that size is good. So I'm going to ink around that. I could have stitched that frizz on as well. Okay, now I'm going to attach that on there. And I'm using one of those labels that I stamped on previously. I'm sticking with my idea of keeping things fairly flat. I'm sticking that whole butterfly down. So, that is probably going to do it. Could stick another one down the bottom, what do you think? Does it need it? Put one down the bottom with a black and white, or no. No, I think that's enough. Just a little bit of something on there. So now we've got a journaling card that will fit into a pocket or anything else that you like to make. Probably even fit into that envelope. Yes, it would. So you could put it even in something like that. So we've got a bag, an envelope with a pocket, and we've got a journaling card. And I was thinking that with this piece that's left over, I might make a coin pocket. Something like that. I think that would be quite good. Okay, so I'm just going to overlap those slightly and press them down. I'm going to use my scoreboard and score along the bottom. So I'm going to score 1/2 inch on the bottom. And what am I going to do at the top? I'm going to hold this down. So I'm going to score, I think I'll score at 1 inch along the top. Okay, so I'm going to cut these pieces off. So I'm going to cut at an angle there, and then cut there. And the same on this side. Cut at an angle, and then cut this off. And at the top, I'm going to cut this piece off. And I'm going to cut that straight, this piece. I'm going to do the same for this one. Okay. So you can see this is page 5 in the printables. So this is going to fold up. Like so. And these are going to fold in. Now I just like to cut these on a bit of an angle, and I'm not the best at getting them the same, so I'm going to mark down a 1/4 inch and then draw a line up to there. I'm going to do the same on this side. Mark down a 1/4 inch and draw a line up to there. And then I'm going to use my scissors. Might be better with the smaller scissors. And cut along there. And for this side. That's that. And for the here, I'm going to do the corner rounding. there's too thin, so if I fold them over like that and put them both in at the same time, will that work? Yes. So, fold that over there, and that comes down there. Oops, crooked. Okay. So there's our coin envelope. Now, to do a fastening on there, I need to cut some circles, so I'll get my circle punch and I'll be right back. Okay, so while I was away, I stitched around the coin pocket, and I also inked around all the edges and all the folds. So now I'm going to glue it together. So I think I need to trim some of these threads off. So first off, go that way. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on that edge and a little bit of glue on this edge, and I'm going to stick those together. Make sure that I haven't stuck them to the middle of the thing. And now I cut 4 circles somewhere. I had 4. Well, I better do another one. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to stick 2 of these together because I want them to be nice and sturdy. I can ink around the edge. I can stamp with my stamp. Just going to do a bit of text on this. And I'm going to just use the vintage photo. Now I need my pokey tool. I've got an awl here, and I'm going to just poke a hole in the middle, what I think is the middle. Not necessarily so, but there to put, oh, that's going to be, no, that'll be right. So where do I want this? I want this about here, I think. I'm going to put a hole in there. And I'm going to put that brad. I've got either this colour or this colour. I think I'll go for the darker colour. Need a bit bigger hole. This hole here a bit bigger as well. Pop that in there. You wouldn't believe it, but that went through a stitch. And now I'm going to open that out. Try to open that out, should I say. I'm going to put some sticky tape over that. I know you can't really see what I'm doing, but you can see in there I've got that brad, and I'm trying to cover that up so that when we put things in the pocket, they don't snag on that. And I must say, it's easier said than done. But at this stage, I think I have got it covered. Okay, so there we go. You can see in there, I hope you can see in there, that there is sticky tape over that brad. Now I'm going to stick this up. Okay. I think I'm actually going to cut them right off. Okay. Now we're going to put the stopper on the top. In there. So I'm going to once again put a hole in this one. Oh, I did. Make it a bit bigger. Put this in it. And decide where I want that. So about, well, where does it need to be? About there. Bring around, put that out that way. Now, if you wanted to, you could put something over that, like we could put a label there, or we could use, say, a piece of offcut like this and cover that up. I think I might do that. Now I have some blue and white baker's twine here. I'm going to use that to tie my closure. So I'm just going to tie a knot. I'm going to go that way first. Tie a knot. Then come back down this way and tie another knot, just to make sure that it doesn't come undone. And then I might tie a double knot there. Cut that off. And then we can tie this. And cut that off. Okay, so we might trim these up, tidy them up a little bit. So there we have a document wallet. Now let's have some sort of decoration on this. How about if I just did half of one of those? Just let it hang off the side like that. I think I will. And perhaps a moth, or should I put one of these on there? What about one that goes the other way? I might put it there. And I think I will put a little bit of lace maybe. Put a little bit of lace under it. Yeah, like that. Stamp a number in there. I've got this little stamp here, stamp kit, and I might just stamp a number in there. Let's do D. D. 3. 8. 2. Okay. Alright, so that's our little document wallet. Our little coin wallet, I mean. Now, have we got... Well, no, they won't fit in there. Oh, yes, they will. That would fit in there nicely. So, I will back that with this paper. Just clear some of that gear out of the way. Isn't it marvellous how much mess we get in when we get industrious? This is the paper that I've used. It's 200 GSM. I don't know whether you can see that with that glittery cover on it. 200 GSM, and it's digital silk paper. And that's the one that I'm using when I want to fussy cut the items out, or if, you know, if I want them to hold their weight a bit better. So that's what this one is printed on. I had two printed the same. Here we go. So that one's printed on normal copier paper, and this one's printed on that silk paper. So I don't know whether you can see the difference there, but the colours on the silk paper are deeper. And plus, as I said, it's got that extra weight to it, so yeah, I like that for that reason. Okay, so I've got so much stuff here that I don't know what I have got and what I haven't got. So let's have a recap of what we've made. So that pops in there nicely, and that ties up. So we've got a journaling card. It's been backed with one of the printables. We've got an envelope. It's got lace on the top. It's got a postcard from the printable kit inside. That will bug me. I'm going to have to shorten that, I think. And on the back we've got a pocket with another postcard in the back, which also has one of the sheets from the printables on the back, backed with that. We've got our paper bag. It will hold heaps of stuff. We can put lots of things in there. And we've got our coin bag with our postcard inside. If you wanted to, you could ink inside of that as well a bit to get rid of that whiteness. It was a bit too wet before with glue for me to do that, but I can do that now probably. So yeah, there we go. You can see I've dulled the whiteness down, and pop our postcard in there and tie our wallet up. So there we go. Four pieces, 4 ephemera pieces from, well, I haven't even used half of the kit really, and yeah, and there's cards inside of them. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Not too bad for a couple of hours work. So I'll put a link to the printables in the description box below, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the video, and also if you would like to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, I would love that. And thank you for being here, and I hope you can join me next time I post a video. Bye.